what is happening to City's air of invincibility.
Pep Guardiola on the sidelines now is facing something that he has never faced before in his managerial career. He's never lost 4 games in a row. Spurs in the League Cup.
Spurs are through! Manchester City have lost their first competitive fixture since December last year.
Bournemouth last weekend.
Bournemouth have beaten the champions. They've beaten Manchester City for the first time ever in their history.
Sporting Lisbon on Tuesday.
Surely this will be 3 points if it's converted. And it's into the bottom corner of the net. And Manchester City have surrendered once again.
First time in 18 years that City have lost 4 in a row.
If someone would like to beat us, that is going to happen, because in the next 50 years we're not going to win all the Premier Leagues, right? So it's impossible.
I think the problem is the uncertainty with the manager. And I think it's because the manager's not made his decision whether he's staying or going. In the back of the minds, I think some of the players are switched off.
Okay, I know it's amazing actually what's happening. Joining us now is for more on this is broadcasting City fan Rachel Herdson. Rachel, a very, very good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, Rachel. I mean, it's all kidding aside, it's actually unbelievable what we're watching at this moment in time. I mean, I'd say where I was last Tuesday there, Rachel. I was in Lisbon, and City excellent first half. Should have been 3 up at half time. And I said to Andy last night, Rachel, they could have lost 5 or 6 in the second half.
Yeah, and it wasn't a dissimilar story on Saturday either, to be perfectly honest. We had total control in the first half again, and yet came out in the second half and were nowhere near as good. It's quite funny that it's been branded a crisis, though. I think that's obviously because of the unbelievably
success,
high set ourselves. And the last time I looked, going to bed last night, we were still second in the league, 5 points off Liverpool, and going to Anfield in December. Yeah. So if that's your definition of a crisis, then give me that every day. However, as your esteemed colleague Gabriel Bonglahor would say, oil's off it. We're not looking at, our like you say, the invincibility era has probably gone now. And I think in part that's, the fact that we have had so many injuries, and you can dwell on that. But, you think about there's no team in the world that would be able to handle the drop-off of Rodri, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Grealish, Akanji, De Bruyne, whoever else there is. Although I've heard that in January we're signing a player called Ederson from Atalanta to cover Rodri for the rest of the season. I don't think it'll be too long before we're playing Ederson from our goalkeeper in the back line. But I think we have been worked out a little bit tactically because, we obviously play this possession football and a high press and a high line defensively, but we haven't got the pace at the back now, the recovery pace of Kyle Walker. Unfortunately, he's not been at it this season. Neither's Bernardo. But Foden has to some degree dropped off as well. So I think it's a perfect storm at the minute. I just heard somebody else in your package then suggest that, the Pep situation and not signing his contract, has that had perhaps had an impact?
Do you think
as
it
well?
has, Rachel?
I don't know. You'd like to think that the off the field antics don't impact us, but maybe we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But we just need our players to find some form pretty quickly. Like I say, going to Anfield at the minute fills me with dread. To be perfectly frank, I don't know if the international break is a good or a bad thing, because ultimately, you can reset physically and mentally, but gone are the days when we had 2 or 3 players going away on international duty. Everyone's there these days. So I think sometimes you want to just get back on that horse, don't you, quickly and play it.
Rachel, I mean, one player that certainly for me has looked sharp lately is the centre forward. I mean, look, we know his goals and we know his numbers, but also I think Erling Haaland looks like he's doing everything he possibly can at the moment to try and keep everything on course.
He is, and the biggest fear now is that if he gets injured, then we really are in the mire, because we sold Alvarez in the summer, and you can't blame the club for that because the profit on him was unbelievable. But we haven't necessarily got any cover there now. Although there's a lad who looks all right at Ipswich called the Lap that I think might be going after.
Rachel, what about? I actually said to Andy with a wee chat last night, I can't believe how much you miss Rodri, although we probably should. But also, I think Ruben Diaz is a big miss in centre defence. I really do.
Absolutely, and it's not just necessarily the experience they bring; it's the leadership and the guile and the steel.
Yeah,
we haven't necessarily got those talkers on the pitch at the minute. So we always knew we were going to miss Rodri, and you can look at the club and suggest, well, we should have sorted that out in the closed season and got somebody in. The reality is there is no other player on the planet like him at the minute. You can't replace Rodri. He's that good. But, oh, my God, do we ever miss him? We look all over the place at the back, and it just shows you how important he is in terms of not necessarily that defensive cover, but the breakup of play. Every time a position comes forward now, they look like scoring, and that's not a great place to be in. So, but totally trusting Pep to sort it out. This is why he's paid the big bucks. This is why he's the best manager in the world, and we'll see now what he's made of.
No, I think you're right, Rachel. I think all City fans will be trusting in Pep. There's no doubt about that. Thanks for your time this morning, Rachel.
Fans, unbelievably, over the weekend, I've been reading some right tripe on Twitter suggesting it's the time for him to go.
Don't read it, Rachel. Take my advice. If I'm going to take any advice from me ever in your life, don't read it. Don't get yourself involved. It'll start affecting you mentally.
Managers on Twitter out there, I'm telling you, the undiscovered managerial talent.
Don't do it, Rach. Telling you, forget it.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.